afternoon. Yes, I can hear the echo. I know I'm on. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for coming. And we'll start with the secretary reading the minutes.
I know I'm off, but is this on?
Yes.
Masonic Council of California Union City Resident Council open meeting, July 24th, 2024, the minutes. The meeting was called to order at 2:05 p.m. by President Don Hicks. Council members present were Don Hicks, Warren Benedict, Ken McMillan, Diane Swing, Robert Huber, and Richard Cunningham. There were also approximately 35 residents in attendance. The minutes of the open meeting of June 26, 2024 were approved as read. Diane Swing gave the Treasurer's report. The balance in the Employee Appreciation Fund was $14,566, which is $4,927 below this time last year. Contributions for the month included $834 from automatic resident deductions, $247 from the gift store, $10 was in the contribution boxes, and $87 was collected in the donation jar in the general store. Richard Cunningham reported that the Budget Committee had met in July and would be meeting again in August and hoped to have a more detailed report for the residents at the August Town Hall meeting. Warren Benedict reported that the Grounds Committee did not meet in July, but their next meeting is scheduled for August 15th of 2024. Ken McMillan reported that the Buildings Committee continues to meet monthly and that necessary issues are being dealt with as they are reported to the committee. He encouraged residents to continue to report personal problems to the proper staff departments unless items are not being resolved. Don reported that the next yard sale will be on Thursday, November 14th, with setup on Wednesday, the 13th. Residents were urged to check their bank statements to make sure that the automatic donations to the Employee Appreciation Fund are being deducted. It appears that some donations have fallen through the finance reporting cracks. Nomination forms for council membership will be placed in mailboxes on July 25th with a return date due of August 15th. Susie Haas raised a concern that the council had not attempted to solicit donations for the Employee Appreciation Fund at Summerfest. John reported that this had not been considered, but in the future the council will request permission from the sponsoring department for such a purpose. There are extra chairs being stored in the patio area and will be distributed to locations on campus as determined by the Facilities Department and Administration. There being no further business to come before the meeting, it was adjourned at 2:25 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Ken McMillan, Secretary.
Thank you, Ken. Treasurer's report.
You have to get approval on the minutes.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. You read the minutes. Are there any corrections? Hearing none, the minutes are passed as read. Yes,
Where is our American flag?
I don't know.
I move we adjourn the meeting until the stage is proper.
It's behind you.
In the back.
It's in the back corner.
I'm getting it.
Oh, Julie, don't. You're back.
It doesn't matter.
Hang on, Justin's going. Julie?
I know. He can bring the stand.
Julie, I got it.
Well, you bring the stand. What do you think I'm gonna
last month, or August, we took in from our withdrawals from our accounts, home withholdings, $835. The 2 EAF hall boxes came to $170. The gift shop donations were $13, and the general store EAF jar, there was $99. And we've had $1,000 in other funds, mail or whatever that came in, but there was $1,000 added up. The total came to $16,683. I'm proud that probably it's this group that's listening, because we have dropped from 49,000 behind, 4,900 behind to 4,300 behind. So somebody's listening to us. We appreciate that, but we still are behind, and we only have a couple of months to go before the end of the month. Suggest that perhaps we have so many new people that don't know about it. Share it with others. Encourage people. We can't tell people how much to put in because we're all different. But the staff does do a lot for us. We appreciate that very much, that you are listening to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane. A note to the board, we don't have a meeting, we don't have anything for this meeting, but we will next meeting, as the board is meeting next in September.
I'll be going to the board meeting on September the 18th as a representative from the council. The council will be getting a printed report this week for approval to submit to the board for that meeting. And I will be in attendance at that meeting, and I will have a report to give at the September 25th town hall meeting.
Oren, would you like to report, please?
Yeah, I'd like to report. However, we've not had a meeting. We had one regularly scheduled one, of which only 2 of our members showed up. I was not one of them. And so I rescheduled it again for a week later. I contacted everybody, and to my knowledge, everybody said that they would be there, and we had 3. So we have not had a meeting, and no, is my report.
Thank you. Dick, please.
On the budget committee, we met, went over the budget, and basically approved everything that we put on there. There were some deductions. We are sending it to the committee next month on the 16th or the 18th. We haven't had a date yet. And they will pass it. If they pass it, that will be our budget for next year.
Thank you. You want to pass it to Ken again? Please.
Anybody want this job? The committee met as we do every month. Some of the items that we discussed at the buildings committee were, of course, the pool problem. When the pool was closed, and we didn't have any really good notification of that until somebody went over there and found the sign on the door, which didn't make a lot of people very happy. But now the pool is now reopened, and the problem has been repaired. At the time that it was closed, the vendor had been contacted. They were working on it, but then after the vendor finished, they had to bring the state in to inspect the pool, but it is now operational. We continue to have the exit lights checked, and we ask that anybody that when you see an exit light that is not working, please let facilities know, because there's so many exit lights all over this campus that it's hard to pinpoint them, but they do need to be in operation at all times. So if you see exit lights that are not working, let facilities know, or leave a message on the hotline, or send it through Alexa or the digital app. There was a question about cleanliness over in in Lorber. They've been having some problem with people putting paper towels in the toilets. And so, it was discovered that it was not residents, but it was staff, and so that has been corrected. That has been corrected. Everything else, we're still looking for a bench for the third floor. The poor bench up there, we just can't find a bench that will fit in that area at the third floor north elevator. There's not as much space there in that one place as there is in some of the other places, and so we can't find one that's exactly the right length so that it doesn't block the button where you have to push to get the elevator to go up or down. So we're still working on that. We thought about putting some of those green chairs there, but then we discovered they're not very safe. So we're still working on that. We will have another meeting on the 5th of, I will say, April again, September, which is next week, and I'll have another report next month.
Thank you, Ken. Well, I guess everybody's wondering what happened about the elections. Well, because we only had 2 applicants for 2 seats for council members, in accordance with our bylaws, I will entertain a motion to elect John Gray and Gary Peterson to the resident council by acclamation. Is there any discussion? Yes, Jeannie.
I move that we elect them by acclamation.
Okay, Jeannie moves that we elect them by acclamation. And Larry Sanders seconds it, okay? All in favor? All right, Marge, sorry, I didn't see you.
Well, normally we get to see the faces of the people that are gonna be put on the resident council.
Well, I believe we have one here. Gary Peterson is at the back, sitting, and there's, oh, there you are. Do you want to stand, do you want to come up front for a second? And everybody will know who you are? John, okay.
Hello, everybody. Here I am. I was raised in the mountain. I learned my values up there, and I'm just a young guy, 26 with 60 years experience. So I'll do what I can do to help anybody that needs help around here. So that's best that I can tell you. So thank you so much.
Down next to Nancy.
John and I prepared the same speech, thank you very much. I come from Southern California. I'm one of a couple guys up here from Southern California. Very happy to be here, nice place, I hope I can help out.
Thank you, John and Gary. All right, so we now have new members. They will start their term in October.
Ask for a vote on the acclamation.
She did.
I did.
Oh, yes, sorry.
All right. All of us, we're sitting here. Okay, I think that's all I have unless there's any new business. Anything else come up? Okay, if that's the case, then I'd like a motion to close the meeting. Second. It's been moved and second that we close the meeting. Everybody in favor? Thank you. The next meeting is September 25th.
Bill's not gonna play tonight. And Rudy's not gonna play tonight. I think so. Where are they? They would give you, what you call it? The poker. They gave you the $5.
I started playing pickleball.
I know, I'm like, oh, I just, let me get some chairs.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Soledad Martinez, Executive Director here at the Masonic Home. We have a few new residents that are here today, so I just wanted to make sure I did the right introduction. So, good afternoon. I have a few updates before we get to our team update. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with a couple of things. One thing is very important that we want to do is a reminder, let's save the questions to last, okay? Let's save all the questions to the end, so then we can go ahead and get everybody, the questions answered at the end, and we can move within the hour, and then we leave the questions to the end. Okay, that said, we have, as you know, we've been, I said that in the fireside chat. Ron is retiring. His last day is on the 30th of this month, which is Friday. That is his last day. We'll still see him here once in a while. He may come in and you know, give us a little help, but Ron's retirement, his farewell is tomorrow at 1:30 here in the auditorium. If you are able and available, please come and join us. Ron has been here for 25 years, and I think it's important for us to give him a good farewell. So that's that. We have some promotions that have transpired since last, and I wanted to let everybody know. As you know, Mike McComas applied for the position of Ron's position, and he was promoted within in-house, and he will be starting, he's already training, but he's starting the new position next week on September 3rd is going to be his start date as the purchasing agent. So, Mike McComas. The other update I have for you is we are again hiring or promoting within. We have Michelle Pakia, who is our shopper, our resident shopper. She has accepted the position and is moving up to Mike McComas's position as facility services coordinator, I believe is the right title. So congratulations to Michelle as well. And you have that in a memo that went out today. So you should have received, but if you haven't received it, you should receive that probably tomorrow. That is another great promotion for us here at the Masonic Home. Thank you. I was gonna say yes. So with Michelle's departure from shopping, there's gonna be a little bit of transition. And here's the transition. Now this is gonna be a little bit of a musical chairs, but I want you all to understand where we are at. We realized for a few months now that the shopper does do a lot of shopping, mostly for, we do skilled nursing,
and, assisted living, but assisted living was very few, and I think because during COVID, we said, okay, we were gonna be shopping for independent residents, but if you remember, before COVID, usually it was the shopper was just for assisted living, skilled nursing, and memory care. So this is what we are gonna be doing, as Michelle is going to, facility services. I spoke to the management team this morning and they already know, so we have a social worker in, skilled nursing. Ambika is going to be doing any purchasing for residents that need it in, skilled nursing. For memory care residents, it will be Dee Deesberg who will be doing the, shopping for those residents that may need. Usually we go through the families for the memory care residents, but if there's something that they need, Dee is going to be doing that. Catherine over at the pavilion is going to be doing that for the residents over at the pavilion. So that remains, assisted living and independent residents. There's not a lot of residents that are using the shopper. I think we see more of a, we have seen an influx of independent residents. So we are going to help the independent residents, use, other means of shopping. For instance, if you're not one of those that like to go out to the shopping trips that we go, that, Active Living has, then we will, we can show you how to do Instacart if you're shopping from the grocery store, let's say. Social services, Jesse and Leah will help you on how to do Instacart if you need to learn how to do it. They won't do it for you, but they will teach you how to do it. And I know, I see the bags that come over to the front desk for people who order Instacart. I also see that, you know, there's a lot of people shop from Amazon. People know how to shop online already. That's nothing new. What we want to focus is on those assisted living residents that really, really need that assistance, that they no longer go out, that no longer can go out and shop in our shopping trips. We will go ahead and do those, and we've noticed for the past few months, there are very few people in assisted living that really use the shopper. Most of them are independent, so we're asking for the independent residents who use the shopper in the interim that we get someone to do your own shopping online. And if you need to do grocery shopping, then we can show you how to do Instacart. So that is coming up, and Jesse and Leah understand, and we are short there, one person, so please bear with us, but we will try to get everybody going with the shopping. And if you have any questions, please let me know at the end of town hall. The other update that I have is we're still looking for a manicurist. As you know, we lost our manicurist, and so did Acacia Creek. So Acacia Creek and us, we are putting our heads together, see if we can find one. But in the meantime, this one I do want to see hands. In the meantime, we know that a lot of you go to Helen's Nails to get your nails done. So what we have decided to do, if we have 3 or 4 residents that would want to go at one time, we will provide transportation to and from, but we need to see who is interested in that. The people that already go and have their own transportation to go, that's fine. This is for the residents that usually get their nails done here, and we haven't been able to do that. So if you're interested, please see me, see Marisol, and we will get a group of 3 or 4 people at one time, drive you over to Helen's, and that's all where we will be going. Helen's Nails gets the nails done and bring you back in the interim that we find someone. So we're still gonna continue to look, but we wanna provide that service as much as, for the time being, as much as we can, okay? The next thing that I have here is the dining room. And I don't know if I'm gonna take Jeremy's thunder, but I need to let you know this. A memo went out, and I'm sure you all received the memo, so, starting Tuesday, you're gonna see that we are going to be doing the final changes that we had, told you before we were gonna do, but we couldn't do them. We needed the supplies, and, you know, we had to order and do all that. So, the front of the service, area is going to be redone. The cabinetry in the back of the service area, the paneling on the sides, on each of the sides of the salad bars, the panels are gonna be done in the panel at the entrance of the lounge area where the monitor is at. So you're gonna see the monitor removed and all that. We are going to, as my memo said, we didn't wanna do this during regular hours because it was gonna be disruptive to your dining services. So we are not going to do that. We're gonna do this after hours. It is gonna take a little bit longer than we had anticipated because we don't want to stop or give you, you know, box lunch or box meals in order for us to go in there and work. So the vendors that are coming in to work, they've agreed to do this in the after hours. So please, I'm asking everyone, I know during the remodel or the small remodel that we did, there was a lot of people going in there looking. They're gonna be working in the evening. Please, I'm asking everybody to stay out of the dining room. It's a safety issue. We really, really wanna make sure that we don't have any, accidents. There's gonna be, people working in there, and if you go in and they're not expecting you, we don't want anything happening. So please, please do not go in there after hours. That's the reason we're doing that, to, make, your dining experience less disruptive. And I think that is all of my updates. I'm sure I'll think of more as we go along, but now Labor Day barbecue. Labor Day barbecue is gonna be on Friday, and, we have a sign-up sheet in the back. I talked about this at Fireside Chat. If you're interested to, assist dining services, and they really don't need any assistance, but, before, a while back, we used to do Labor Day, the residents who wanted to participate in helping, you know, helping us bring a drink to the staff, and just as a thank you for their hard work. Residents got a kick out of it, and those of you who were not here before, the staff was a little, the first year we did that, the staff felt very uncomfortable having residents serve them, and they were like, it doesn't feel good. The following year, everything was much better and staff felt comfortable, so I wanted to bring that back. So if you're interested, if you want to help, go see Marisol at the end of Town Hall, and she will take your name, and then that day we will give you some duties to do, okay? That's Labor Day, because the Labor Day barbecue is, again, with residents and staff, is a joint barbecue. And with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and have Joseph come up. He has a couple of updates for you as well. Joseph?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joseph Richard. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. And I haven't met you yet. I'll be staying a little bit after this, so if we have a chance, I would love to be able to meet anybody that I've yet to be introduce myself to. I want to give two updates. The first one is on the task forces that we started in order to address some of the issues that were identified in the resident satisfaction survey. The task forces, we had a few of them that were created to really to really think about solutions for the issues that we identified. They've been progressing, and I think they've reported in I hope, a regular manner to the resident council. But the big reporting is gonna happen in November town hall. So that town hall the agenda will be, I think, 99%. The task force is reporting on what they identified, what they've been working on, if they've been successful, how successful they've been, and issues that are still remaining. So we're looking forward to that reporting so that you all know what's going on and we will continue to be working on if necessary. The next update I have was the Community Unity event and follow-up. Many of you participated in a Community Uni set of meetings that were hosted by past Grandmaster Rush Argonia. Yes? Okay. First off, thank you for participating. We had, I think, 3 meetings with residents and we had a couple of meetings with staff. So for us, it was kind of an illuminating moment. It allowed us to really share in a dialogue that we believe was very necessary. The goals were really to focus on what are we doing on our campus to make sure that we are creating a culture of, allowing people to feel connected to each other, no matter their background, no matter if they're here or in Acacia Creek. There are people who are non-Masons or family members or guests that are coming in. What culture and what experience do we have? We have a lot of notes. If you remember Penny from over in Acacia Creek, she was taking notes and taking minutes of the various community unity events, and there were a lot. And we've taken those, we're looking at them in the hopes of creating next steps that we can communicate with you all and continue the dialogue. There were residents and staff who identified some actionable items that can be done sooner rather than later, especially when it comes to communication and with follow-up. The team is looking at that to try our best to create some procedures and processes for that. One of the big things that was brought up by a few staff members and residents was talking about how we've already created a change in our community. There have been residents who have stepped up to talk to other residents and other staff about what life is like here at the Masonic Homes. Some people, when they run into new residents in the hallway, they take their time to create that feeling of connection and culture that was spoken about. I know the resident council, whenever we bring up opportunities to connect with staff, it's one of the biggest things, the highest priorities they have. And speaking with other residents, it's critical. We want staff and residents to feel like they're working together for the common good of the organization and of our community. And we also brought up the idea that there are, just like when Acacia Creek first opened and until now, there are non-Masons on our campus. Whether it's residents over in Acacia Creek, residents in the pavilion, whether it's memory care residents that are moving into traditions. We have guests that are non-Masons that come on campus. Lorber, and Lorber, especially in short-term rehab, but also a few in long-term care. When we have non-Masons visit the Masonic home and they see how we are, they see how we act, they see the tenets and the culture and what we believe in and what we uphold. That's our way of, projecting the Masonic values. It's critical, as many Masons here in the room know, and I think everybody who's participated in any form of Freemasonry, whether it's through an allied body or Eastern Star, is that harmony has been a very large focus of the fraternity for years now. And creating that harmony in the Masonic homes has become incredibly important. And it's not something that it's not something new to us. I don't think anybody here has never heard the word unity or harmony. It's something that you've lived and you've created and you've brought here when you moved in. I don't want us to think that community unity is a new concept that we're just bringing up. We just thought about it today. That's not true. Throughout my years here, and many of you have been here longer than me, creating a unified group of residents and staff that project this, the Masonic values and the tenets and the concepts that we have always held to, that's never changed. However, being able to hear that in the community unity events allowed us to highlight what we've already been doing. I think one of the things that Russ really focused on at the beginning was, what are we doing right? What's been good? What have we created already? And that, for me, was just as inspiring as talking about the culture we want to have. So I guess for the community unity event, next steps for us is to review the copious amount of notes that we have, create what was informed about what we do, what next steps could we want to do, and then communicate that back to residents and staff so that we can participate in that change process. That was a lot of me talking really fast. I think it was a very profound time for us. I didn't want you all to think that's it. We just hosted those 4 meetings and we'll come back and talk to you 5 years from now. That's not the goal. There are steps that we want to take. We want to make sure we're all in lockstep together. We're all moving together. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah. All right, this is a big, so I'm gonna break from tradition just for a little bit. I want you to think about questions. I hope there's nothing really pressing. If there is, you can ask that question now. But if you have any questions when it comes to community unity, your participation or things you want to think about moving forward, I ask that it's hard to think about it right now. Even at the end of this town hall, you might not have the chance to really think about community unity and what next steps can be, or if there's any concerns or questions you might have, please feel free to reach out to myself, Ranchu, Marisol, Soledad, with your questions and concerns, and we will add them to the minutes and the notes that we're reviewing and get back to you on where we're at. All right. I think those are all the updates I have. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Joseph. I'm gonna ask Chris to come up. She has some information for us as well.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Yes. Okay. I'm Chris Gerstein, Vice President of Clinical Services, for anyone that I haven't met yet. Well, I am anyway, but you know what I mean. I am also the policy guru here, apparently, and I tend to write lots of them. I have 2 that I'm going to be bringing to you today. One of which is a policy that we've already had for quite some time. I've just made some edits to it. And I want to just go over some of those changes with you today. It is the motorized mobility devices, power chairs, power scooter policy. And I just wanted to reiterate some of the things that are on it and let everyone know that we really respect your ability and need for power chairs and are not trying to limit that ability, but we are trying to make sure that it is a safe environment for everyone. And I think that most of you who have been here for a while, look around, can see that there are more power chairs than there have been in the past. So we just want to make sure that we're looking at the policies and making sure we're accommodating all of the needs that are changing over time. On the policy before, and what is continuing is, if there is a concern regarding the resident's ability to operate a motorized device safely and appropriately, testing the resident's knowledge of the basic rules of safety and review of the resident's operating capabilities and skills will be required and can be requested by the executive director, the SNF administrator, or the manager of our CFE Health Services at any time. And if there is any unsafe operation that results in an accident or any damage, that may be required of you. We may have to ask for that. And any accidents, of course, do need to be reported immediately or as soon as possible. Another non-change to the policy, but a reminder, is that motorized assistive devices are to be set are set to be operated at approximately 3 miles per hour, which is the average walking speed. Some devices are able to have their speed limited. If a resident has a device with this ability, it is advised that they use this function to avoid speeding. And if you don't, please do try to remember that it is very dangerous for the walkers around you, walkers meaning ambulating people, if you're speeding by them and they become an obstacle in your way. Motorized assistive devices cannot be parked unattended in the lobby, the dining room, the hobby, craft rooms, hallways, or any lounge areas throughout the buildings. Motorized assistive devices may be parked near the entrance to any building, but must be kept out of the way of pedestrian traffic. Parked unattended implies for an extended period of time. Devices may be parked out of the flow of traffic for a short periods of time, while residents conduct business in areas too small for the device to operate in safely. If you're going to be going somewhere and you want to park your motorized assistive device in the lobby at the South Mall, that is fine, as long as you keep it out of the flow of traffic. Please don't leave it in the middle of a hallway. Most people are great about that. I just wanted to point it out that is still a policy. Due to limited space and risk of injury to other people, motorized assistive devices are not permitted on elevators if there is already one on the elevator. When entering an elevator, the resident must proceed on the lowest speed and exiting back out of the elevator. Residents should not attempt to maneuver the device while inside the elevator. Rather, the motorized assistive device should be driven into the elevator front first and backed out upon exiting. A resident operating a motorized assistive device can be accompanied on the elevator by no more than 4 people. We've had that in the policy from the beginning, but I know that that's sometimes hard to do, and I've seen more people crowded in the elevators with more than one power chair or power scooter. It is more dangerous and more hazardous for all of our residents, so please try to remember that when you're using them in the to go to the into the elevators. And this is a part that I kind of changed a little bit, just but I wanted to also reiterate that much of it is already here. Residents who are dependent on electric wheelchair due to a disability are permitted to use their adaptive equipment in all common areas, including the dining room. We encourage residents who can ambulate to walk into the dining room to sit and eat. Residents who do so can be assisted to park their devices outside of the dining room in the anteroom before entering the dining room. If a resident does not wish to use their electric wheelchair in the dining room but requires assistance ambulating or transferring to a standard chair, arrangements can be made with the manager of RCFE Health Services or any of the other staff to accommodate those special needs. We really do hope that all of you remain as mobile as possible, and if you can and would like to walk into the dining room and sit in one of the chairs, please do ask for help with that if you need it. Again, a rule that hasn't, a part of the policy that has not changed, but is, I wanted to reiterate, due to the amount of congestion in the rooms and hallways on each of the floors, motorized assistive devices are not for use within Lorber, but are okay to use when residents leave Lorber, such as to go to the dining room or to the auditorium. Anybody that's in Lorber that does regularly use a power chair to leave Lorber or come back we do find them a place that they can put it outside of Lorber and have them get to it because we just don't have enough room to store them up there. In the pavilion, due to the amount of, I have a typo. Congestion of the hallways, number of residents using non-motorized assistive devices, and a lack of ability to use red plugs available, residents are required to store their power chairs in their apartments when not in use. That is different from anywhere else on campus because of the way the pavilion is set up. Residents do have to store them in their apartments. Those were the changes to the, that policy. And I will, these policies will be coming out to everybody in your mailboxes tomorrow with the changes that are on them. So, please do look for those. I do have a couple of copies here in case you need them right away, but, that they will be coming out. The next policy is on non-motorized mobility devices, such as walkers, knee scooters, canes, wheelchairs. Now, they can be also used anywhere on campus, as long as they are being used safely. The two things that I would like to point out are that the fire and safety codes and regulations must not be violated. To avoid violation of any fire and safety codes or regulations, parking of walkers, wheelchairs, or other assistive devices other than motorized assistive devices should be done within the resident's room or apartment. In all residential areas, buildings, walkers shall not be parked in hallways outside of the resident apartments or rooms. If possible, they should be stored, folded up, and placed safely against the wall. If residents chooses to keep their walker unfolded while it is not in use, it still shall be stored in the resident room or apartment. And I'm not talking about if you use your walker to walk to your power chair outside your room and leave your walker and take your power chair, go and come back. That is perfectly fine. I'm talking about that it should not live in the hallway, you know, when you're sleeping, or for most of the day if you're in your apartment without it. We have a lot of devices being seen in the hallways, providing a little bit of an obstacle course at times, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe when using those. And the same rules apply also for the dining room. Residents are welcome to leave them in the anteroom and walk into the dining room without their walker if they can do so safely, or if they can do safely with the help of one of the staff members, because sometimes that is a little bit easier for them as well. But again, it's not a requirement. I know everybody's like, okay, wait, this is all very new, and she just read me a lot of things. So please do take a look at the policies when you receive them in your mailboxes, and if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'm also happy to answer them at the end of this meeting if you have any that are burning right away. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I'm gonna go ahead and ask Jeremy to come up.
Hello everyone, I'm Jeremy Garrett, Director of Dining Services. Got a few announcements and one introduction. Like Soledad said, this Friday we're doing a Labor Day barbecue. So next month we're going to change things up with the dining committee. Dining committees, we're going to do 1 month where it's open to everybody, and then 1 month to just the committee members, so we can work on making the changes that everybody has. So next month we'll be holding the dining committee on the 10th, so September 10th for the dining committee. We're still looking for a location for that. It might be here, it might be, I think they used to have it in the multi-purpose room, so we'll be looking into that. So we apologize for the cancellation of the diabetic lunch and learn last week. Our outside dietitians, we're gonna have some come in. Their community ended up getting the state survey, so they had to be there on site. It's rescheduled for the 12th of next month. So it'll be held here at 12 o'clock on September 12th. Sunday brunch will be on September 15th, and then our normal food forum will be back on September 24th. I don't know if everybody, has been to the dining room lately. We have a new dining room manager. Her name's Kate. I would like her to come up here, introduce herself, and tell us a little about herself.
Thank you, Jeremy. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen me in the dining room, but I want to introduce myself. My name is Kate Arabejo, and I'm the new dining room manager. So right now, at the dining room, you have a supervisor and also a manager. So yeah, I'm very pleased with everyone, and I'm happy to be in Masonic. I actually started my culinary journey in senior living for about 7 years now. So I have been very passionate ever since. At first, I started as a server, and I worked my way up as a dining room service director. And then I found out that I'm more passionate with being outside the kitchen, being able to be engaged with our residents. So that's why I became a dining room manager. So if you have any questions and concerns, I am the go-to person. No matter if it's good or bad, for the dining services, I'm actually, very aware of, what's going on. It's been like a week and a half now that I've been in the dining room, so I'm still getting to know my staff. I'm getting to know all of you guys too, so please forgive me if I forget your name. But I will be here for you guys. I'm your advocate for Masonic. So yeah, feel free to give me all your suggestions and concerns. And also, I'm happy to be here with Jeremy as well. So he's very supportive at me. So yeah, it was so nice to meet everyone. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome aboard. Next, we're going to go ahead and have Sol come up and give us an update.
Hey everybody, I'm Saul Silverman. I'm the Director of Masonic Assistance and Outreach with Masonic Outreach Services. As usual, I will provide an update on everything that MOS has been doing over the last month and some upcoming events of ours. So regarding the Masonic Outreach Services team and the clients we serve, we're serving about 250 clients right now across Masonic Senior Outreach, Masonic Family Outreach, and Distressed Worthy Brother Fund programs. For Masonic Assistance, which is the team that does the central intake and application process for MOS and Masonic Homes, we work together with the admissions team on a number of applications to the Masonic Homes. And we have a lot of folks applying right now, so we have 74 total people who are applying to both Masonic Homes combined. And 46 of them are applying to Union City. So that's great. We continue to work together with the admissions team on filling the open and available apartments. And then for lodge outreach, we've been doing a lot of outreach as we always do. So this last month on August 1st, we provided a presentation at Southwest number 283, which is down in Southern California in National City. On August 24th, we provided a presentation at Petaluma Hamilton, number 180. That was for they had a Sweetheart and Widow Sip and Paint event, so we were there to provide a presentation. That sounds pretty nice, so I don't know, we could do that here maybe. And then, and so then we have some upcoming presentations. So on August 31st, we'll be at Vitruvius number 145 in Petaluma. Did I pronounce that correctly? Vitruvius. See, I got it wrong. I should have asked you. Vitruvius number 145 in Petaluma for their Valley of Santa Rosa Scottish Rite Mason of the Year barbecue event. And then on September 13th, we'll be presenting at Oakland number 61 for their stated dinner. And then on the 14th, we'll be at Natoma number 64 in Folsom. They're having a lodge picnic that we'll be presenting at. And then tomorrow, we're hosting a webinar, so online at 6 o'clock. And it's going to be a presentation on our shared housing program down in Covina. So Amy Aberwig, who's the Director of Masonic Senior and Family Outreach Services, and I will be providing that presentation. Then for trainings, a reminder that we train volunteer lodge members or their family members to do outreach in their local communities and at their local lodges. So we hosted a training for Division 3 at Oakland number 61. That was on August 3rd. And then we hosted a virtual training for Division 4 on August 20th. We also hosted 2 skills workshops in collaboration with Masonic Center for Youth and Families. That was on August 1st and August 22nd. Those were via Zoom. And we provided a training on how lodges can support their members who are experiencing grief and loss, or the family members of their members if their members have passed away. And so those were really successful trainings. And then next month, we have 2 trainings coming up. So on the 7th, we'll be at Garden Grove, number 361, for the Division 9 meeting. And then for Division 6 and 7, we'll be on September 28th at Torrance University, number 394. And that's what I have. Yeah, we're all over the place, right?
Good job.
Thank you, Sol. Now I'm going to call on Kim so she can come and give us some of her updates.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kim Haig, Senior Director of Events, Active Living and Volunteer Services. First of all, I just want to welcome Kate. I met her at Jam and Jelly Day, and it was she stepped right into the fire with one of our bigger events here at the Masonic Home, and I really appreciated everything that you did. It was great. And on the subject of Jam and Jelly, I just wanted to let everyone know that we had over 170 people at Jam and Jelly Day. And for the first time in as long as I can remember, the tablecloths got wet in the morning. And so we had to remove all the tablecloths, and it was almost 10 o'clock before we got the tables set and decorated. But I hope for those of you that attended had a really great time. We had a very enjoyable event. I know the gift shop did really well. We toured about 60 visitors around our campus, and we had some guests from the Grand Chapter of Nevada join us. So they were very impressed by your home, and I want to thank all of you that came to Jam and Jelly Day and supported that 112-year tradition here at the Masonic Home. We have a couple of events, campus-wide, or campus events that are coming up. There are 2 community events, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on one of them. We have the Union City Police Department will be using our sedan patio and the auditorium on September 7th for a gala award presentation dinner. And I know we have a lot of very curious residents that want to know who's at their home. But they will be outside for dinner. Their social hour starts at 5. Their dinner is from 6 to 8, and they'll have a little bit of a presentation out on the outside stage. And then at 8 o'clock, they'll move in here into the auditorium for some dancing until about 10. So their curfew is 10, and they should be gone by then. But I just wanted to make you all aware that we will have guests on the campus on September 7th. It's a Saturday, and they're expecting about 150 people. So you'll see some folks here in this area. Remember, it is a private event that we're hosting for they're using our space to have their event, and they're great partners of the Masonic Homes, and we love the Union City PD. So it's September 7th. It's a week from Saturday. Ooh, scary. The other community event that we have is happening towards the end of September. It's actually the last Saturday in September. And that's the New Haven Schools Foundation Mutt Strut fundraising event that will take place on the lower lot. This group has also been a longstanding partner with the Masonic Homes of California. And this particular event helps to raise funds for the school district to use throughout the year. They have, again, a very good turnout. We expect anywhere from 125 to 150. And hopefully you'll have the opportunity, and we hope that you do, to come down and just visit with the furry friends that come for the Mutt Strut and partake in some of those activities. We will have transportation from here, both at the Masonic Home in Acacia Creek, to take folks down and then bring you back. So again, I hope you'll be able to join and show Masonic Home support to the New Haven Schools Foundation. And these are just some of the upcoming events that we have later on this month. I know you're probably gonna be tired of hearing this, but guess what? We're having a barbecue on Friday. And it's luau themed, and there will be entertainment for that. So out on the patio, and I know we'll have some tables set up in here as well. On September 8th, I believe this is still on the books, and Justin can correct me if I'm wrong, but there will be a Pintello outing. They had it put up an interest sheet, and there were over 24 people that showed interest in going to Pintello. So hopefully that number stays high so that we can take the 26 passenger bus to Pintello. I also wanted to let you know that Queen is on vacation until the 6th of September. And you'll notice that the shopping trips have been moved to the afternoons so that we can accommodate that. They will shift back again after Queen returns from vacation. And finally, just a reminder, you have a voice in what happens in the active living department. So please be sure that you attend the active living planning meeting that's going to be on September 6th. And it's at 1:30, and because Union City PD will be here setting up, we're moving that active living planning meeting to the Second Adams Lounge. So please, I know Luce has been working really hard on the September calendar, and she will be happy to share that with you, and that's a week from Friday. I think that's all I have. Soledad?
Thank you, Kim. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Doug Alvarez to come up and do his update.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Doug Alvarez, Director of Facility Services and Environmental Services here at the home. I've just got a couple of quick updates. Some of the things that I know have gotten a lot of attention. We just completed a full audit of the irrigation system of the entire campus, and that includes the Chapel of the Chimes. And to share this, a resident mentioned to me they didn't know that we took care of that site, and we do. Our staff, our contractors, actually maintains the Chapel of the Chimes that belongs to the Masonic section, not the entire area. So we've done a full audit. That was completed. On Monday, our contractors started all of the repairs going through the entire campus. I'm working with the vendors next week to start going through, to start repairing, replacing some of the dead vegetation and plants to get this place nice and bright and looking fresh again. So we apologize for that condition, but we are making great progress. We're gonna get plants in there once the irrigation done. We stopped the planning process because we don't wanna just throw money away. We wanna make sure all of the irrigation was operating correctly. So that is all of that I have for now, and then at the end we can go through questions and answers. Thank you, Soledad.
I want to bring up Cynthia in a minute, but before I forget, the sign-up sheet, the new sign-up sheet is up for the diabetes lunch and learn. So please sign up. Okay, we've sent it up to Pavilion, we've sent it up to Acacia Creek, and we now posted over and Second Sedam. So please make sure that if you signed up the last one that we postponed, sign up again on this one so we make sure we have everybody accounted for, okay? Thank you. Cynthia.
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Cruz. I'm the administrator at Lorber Skilled Nursing Facility. So fun new stuff going on at Lorber. If you've been to Lorber lately, I don't know if you've noticed, but we did get new flooring in the 3rd floor entrance. So it's nice wood floor and a little carpet in between. We are going to be expecting to get new furniture there as well. So it's a nice sitting area, and I know a lot of the visitors, they enjoy just kind of sitting there waiting with their loved one, and they just sit there and enjoy the TV and just be out of the room. We also got last week some new lighting. We got new lighting a couple months ago in the resident rooms and the offices, and then last week we got them all in the hallways. So if you've noticed, if you've been through the hallways, our lights are very nice and bright through the hall. So it's really, really nice now. Okay, so visitation still remains the same. You may come and visit at any time, just so long as it's not too early, not too late, and disturbing the other residents' roommates. Just as a warning, though, we do still have COVID in the building, so even though it's not required, it's highly recommended that when you come to visit to wear a mask. We are in the middle also of we have some residents that are participating in the focus group. So we do meet monthly, and some of the two main topics that the residents have brought up were the food, the dietary trades, and also call-outs. So we're working on that with them. For the outings for next month, they will continue to go and do their usual weekly restaurant outings. Residents choose which restaurants they go to, and then a few residents go to that. They are planning also a D. Young Museum outing in San Francisco for next month. We don't know which residents yet want to go, but there will be a couple of staff members from the Recreation Department that will be going with them. And then upcoming, we also have Chocolate Milkshake Day. There's going to be a guest speaker, Joseph. We'll be talking about history of Masonic homes. We are going to have a concert. Violinists will be coming in. And we have starting a small men's group, monthly men's group, that we will be led by Richard. And he will be talking about, I guess, Masonic homes, history, and lodges and everything. So, Fitchner. Yeah. Oh, there he is. Yes. Thank you, Richard, for doing that. And that's all I have. Does anyone have questions? No? Oh. Thank you. Have a good afternoon.
What you didn't hear is some somebody said, Richard who? And they said, trouble, and he raised his hand. He already knew. He raised his hand, he already knew. Next up, I have Maribel Pansamic from Grand Lodge in our finance department, here to give us an update.
Thank you, Soledad. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, I only have 2 updates and then 1 introduction. So for the updates, number 1, we have a finance hotline. If you don't know, we have the 510-4296-444. It's in your monthly statement at the bottom of the page of your trust fund statement and statement billing. So if you have any questions or concerns or issues, please reach out to finance. Please dial this hotline number and somebody will help you and address your concerns or any problem with your statement. The second one, again for your pension distribution. If you want to change the pension distribution and if you want to get your 25% immediately, please sign up to our new pension distribution policy. The new pension distribution policy, it means you will be receiving the 100% of your pension, but within 2 to 3 days, Masonic Homes will get the 75%. So make sure not to spend the whole 100%, just spend only the 25%. But this will address your concern that sometimes you get, we receive the money, let's say we receive it on the 10th, but you will get it only on the 27th. Now, if you sign up with our new distribution policy, you will get it on the 5th, but you will spend the 25% on the 5th, but on the 6th or the 7th, we will get the 75%. So you do not need to worry about, I don't have the money, I will get it on the 26th or on the 7th of the month. So if you want to sign up, please contact this number, the hotline number, and Jocelyn will be able to help you change the pension distribution from Masonic Homes bank account to your own bank account. And lastly, I would like to introduce our new accounting manager. After almost 6 months of looking for an accounting manager, finally we got a new one. Her name is Mindalyn Soriano, and maybe you have talked to her already. And Mindalyn will oversee the day-to-day accounting operations, which includes pension distribution, trust fund, your trust fund account, and all the bills that we need to pay. Lynn, please, can you come and introduce yourself, say something?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to sing a song. No, just kidding. Maybe let me just practice and then I will eventually sing a song for you. But as Maribel mentioned, my name is Lynn. Well, it's Mindalyn, but I go by Lynn. I've been here for almost 3 months now. I have 16 years experience in finance and healthcare. Prior to here, I came from Fremont Hospital, and prior to that was Telecare Corporation, which was mental health that also had facilities of skilled nursing, assisted living, residential. And, I do enjoy every day that I come. I look forward to meeting all of you. I've met some of you, and it's been very enjoyable having the conversations that we had, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you. My office is located next to the left of the where resident banking is. My door is usually open. If it's not, it's usually because I'm in a meeting, but I usually keep it open, and you're more than welcome to come in if you have any questions. Just want to conversate, I'm there. But again, I'm actually thankful and grateful to be here, and I'm looking forward again to meeting the rest of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn, and welcome aboard as well. a couple of reminders, just very quickly before we start with the questions. Remember the Maribel gave you a hotline number. As we have the hotline for facility services, this is the hotline for finance, 6444. Kim is going to put it on digital signage, so you have that there. But remember, for us here, it's just 6444. Someone will answer the phone, and then if that person is not the right person for whatever your question is, they will direct you right then and there to the person, or say I will give this information to whomever. They will call you back, and that's what we will do. Okay. The last thing I have, Ranshu, the other one is over here if you want to take it. Before we start with the questions, I want to let everyone know that we tend to give this information once in a while. You know, we have friends, all our friends live here. We have neighbors that we might sit at the table with, and then all of a sudden we see that they're not there. Or we have people that go from levels of cares to level of cares, and there are friends, there are people that we've sat with that we know and we appreciate. Unfortunately, as you know, if you didn't write down, there's a form, and we brought that up before. If I'm a resident here and I want to give Dolores permission to know about where I'm at, if I went to the hospital, permission for Dolores to ask about my health, I have to fill this form out, okay? If I don't have that form filled out, and you come and ask the nurses and say, hey, what happened to Soledad? And Dolores comes and asks Cynthia. If I'm in Lorber and she comes and asks Cynthia, hey, I want to know, or I don't think you guys are taking good care of my friend, or here you go to Gladys and you say, you know, I don't think you guys are doing what you're supposed to do, or what kind of medication she's taking, or all these medical questions. The staff cannot answer that. That's a HIPAA regulation, okay? We cannot answer that. If your name is on that form, yes, then we can do that. If the person, and this is where where it's hard, sometimes we have residents who don't have capacity, but because Dolores doesn't have capacity, nobody knows. Sorry, Dolores, I gotta pick on you. But nobody knows, and I have a relationship with Dolores, we're friends, and I know when she's talking to me that she's coherent and we can speak and whatever. But we know, we have documentation from doctors, if I want to talk about Dolores and her health, I need to go to her healthcare power of attorney and then ask that person, he or she, how is Dolores doing? What are they? And it's up to the power of attorney for healthcare to be able to answer those questions, not the staff, not the people in the wellness center, so we need to be very careful, and I know that's hard, especially when we have friends, our neighbors, but we need to remember that we have to adhere to those regulations. I know once in a while I bring that up because things happen, and then I have to remind everybody, if you really want someone to be able to know about your health, or if you went to the hospital, or if you're in Lorber, or what have you, fill out that form and make sure you give it to us so we can put it in the residence, in your file. So please make sure of that. With that said, we're open to questions. The team over here is ready to go. Raise your hand, and there we go. And then if it's either, just come up to the podium.
For accounting, just for my own clarification, will it work the same way that like my cell phone works? They automatically deduct it after I get my check from the Social Security. Is that the way it's going to work in accounting now?
So if you are so are you saying that 75% if we're going to get your money immediately after you receive it?
Yes, for your 75%, it'll automatically be deducted just like my cell phone is deducted.
Correct, yes. We will do an ACH collection. So you don't need to pay us via check. We will collect it. We'll do online payment.
Okay.
Yes, I have a question. I don't know if it's for Jeremy or who. The new washable placemats in the dining room. The server takes a rag and they wipe off the chair, and then they wipe off the placemat. But first they picked up the fork that the person supposedly didn't use. It's held over here. They're washing off the placemat with the same rag that they washed the seat off with. And then they put the fork down and go and bring more silverware to put with it. It seems to me that if the silverware has been to the table, it all needs to be cleared off. And I don't think wiping the seats off with the same rag that are wiping the placemats off. I'm voting for more paper placemats because suppose I stir my coffee, lick my spoon, set it on the placemat because there's not room on my plate. How do you know I don't have COVID or something that the next person is going to pick up off those placemats? I mean, I hate to be cruel about it, but I don't think they're a good idea.
And I agree with you. Kate's here now and she can work with the staff on, every table should be cleared once somebody's there, no matter if they were sitting at that spot or not, everything should be taken off the table and washed. And
I'm actually very aware of, right now, right now, I'm actually, I was given at least a month to look, what's the issue in the dining room. And I'm asking you guys to give me some time for that. In that way, I can relate those issues to my staff. And we are going through training for that as well. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I'm gathering everything that's, what's coming from everyone. Like even little things like for the dressing, it's too tall, which is I totally agree because I tested myself. I grabbed the dressing. That's why those are easy fix. So that's why right now we actually change it to like a shorter one, and that way it's easy for you guys to pull it out and put it back in, and it's not gonna hit the sneeze bar. So those little fixings, then we can change it right away. But I agree to you guys. My staff needs to be trained, and that's exactly what I'm working on to them right now. So I'm gathering everything that you guys are saying, and then of course, I will retrain my staff and give me a couple of months for you guys to see the difference from the dining room right now and the dining room that changes in a few months. I'm not gonna promise perfection, but I'm at least you guys can see the difference like from before and from now. So this is exactly why they hire me, because I've been through this a lot. So yeah, I'm very aware of it. There's a lot to change. So thank you for those feedbacks. It does matter for me to see those, to hear it from you guys. So please keep it coming. Yeah, we actually need, right now we actually soak it into a, what do you call it, a sanitizer. So that one is already, it's not only need to be wiped, and that one, the rack has a sanitizer too. So that one is being soaked already. So yeah, but little things like that, I do pay attention. Like servers are not paying attention, like they don't know how to say right behind you, or corner. So those little stuff needs to be, addressed, especially, we're dealing with, safety issues in the dining room. So especially on that corner, where where we put the sandwiches and where you guys are coming inside, those are very, very crucial. So I always remind them, always say corner, coming through. So those are the things that they need to be, doing it a lot. So, yeah, so I hope I answer your question.
Would you please clarify again the position of power chairs being left out in the hallways all day, overnight, with just only people using them to go to the dining room and back, or the pharmacy or back, but where else would they leave them?
No, they can, power chairs can be left outside of apartments, that's not what I mean. Sorry, so power chairs are stored outside of resident apartments, as close as possible to the apartment, on one side of the hallway with the red plugs, so that they can be charged there. Cords cannot stretch across the hallway to, when it's plugged in on one side, if the power tube on the other. So they all have to be on one side.
And not in front of the fire extinguishers?
And not in front of the fire extinguishers, exactly, and not in front of the fire poles either. They can be left there. Leaving them in community areas like outside of the new to use shop, because somebody's going into the new to use shop and it's just too small to drive around in there. That is absolutely fine. It's just, if you're storing it because it's, there and you're sleeping, it should be at your apartment, outside of the apartment, on the right side of the hallway. And I don't mean right and left, I mean the correct side of the hallway. Did that answer your question? Okay, good.
Hi, Doug. What about the air conditioning? Why did it fail and what have we done to fix it?
Can I ask you to give me a little more specific building?
South building had failure of the air conditioning overnight, the other night.
Over the weekend?
Over the weekend and over the night, and we're about to, and head to apparently, we're about to enter the most hot months of the year. And why did it fail, and what have we done to avoid future failure?
It was a power glitch from PG&E, and that's what you experienced that took the system down. We're working with IT to see if we can come up with a way that facilities can be alerted in the middle of the night, on the weekends. If we get an alert, we will not get an alert if there's a power outage until certain systems come on. Our generators did go on, and we were not aware about it until we came to work. So we're trying to work on a system that we can get external notifications. So it was a power glitch. It had nothing to do. Once the power went, it was a very quick power outage and went back on. Some people may not have noticed, but it did trip some of our AC systems.
That was actually afterwards. There were two failures, and at least the ones that we experienced, and we spent all night. We made calls to the front desk, and of course they called the maintenance person on duty, who isn't prepared to deal with air conditioning at all, especially on the weekends. So, are we saying that there was the person who was essentially in charge, who wasn't capable, wasn't able to contact you or contact the people?
They should have. I'll have to look into that.
Okay.
They should have notified myself or Jeff or Matt.
Okay.
So I apologize about that. We did not get notified.
Okay, thank you.
This is for Soledad. On that form you were talking about, is it offered to new residents when they move in? And also, how do I find out if I filled it out? Been here a long time.
Yes. No, that's a very, very good question. It is not offered as when new residents come in. We can put that in place and you know, and maybe do it not just once, because remember, when you come in, you get bombarded with 20 million things, and maybe right now, if I'm new, I wanna, you know, I don't want anybody to know, but as I make friends here and what have you, that may change. So, maybe this is something, Jesse, that we can bring up at the time of the yearly appraisal. Do you want, this is who you wanna notify, do you wanna notify somebody else? I mean, I'm trying to think of which is the best time to do it, at the beginning and then yearly, just as a reminder, that would be good. And if you wanna know if yours is on file, you can contact, I believe it should be HIN or Gladys. Gladys is the assisted living, healthcare manager, so, yes, so just contact Gladys and she will be able to tell you, if your form is on file and who you have. But, good question. I will work with Jesse and see if we can have the procedure done so it's perfect. You know, so we do it at the beginning and then we can continue to remind residents when Jesse sees you for your yearly appraisal.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do want to mention about the electricity going out last night. It woke me up because I heard voices in the apartment. And I thought, where is this coming from? And what it did was I had my CD player turned on with a CD in it. And it turned the CD on and it was, somebody was singing and I didn't know it was that. And I was sneaking in there. And then I knew it was I know that the electricity went off because the microwave didn't have the time in it. So then I said, okay, then I'm okay now.
You were being serenaded, Dolores. You didn't even know that.
Two areas, I like to address two areas. One of them dining hall, and the other one is facility. I have two comments on each one of them. First of all, the dining hall. Last Monday, breakfast is between 7 to 8:30. So last Monday, I was there 7:05, and I was standing by the line. I waited for your fry cook to be there. I waited for 10 minutes, and I asked where your fry cook is. He said he's back there working something, so I told him he needs to be here to start cooking. So after 10 minutes, he showed up. He cooked the eggs I want him to go. Also on 7:40 to 7:50, there were two guys, one of them is Jim, and the other one is Mr. Glenn. They were standing for 10 minutes, and they cannot wait for the fry cook, so they went sit down to their table, and they were served later on. My question is, where is your fry cook during this 10 minutes? What is he doing back there? I believe she should be cooking. I don't know his name. What is this Monday?
Alright, so you're probably talking about Marihildo. So if we have a call out, we lost 2 cooks over the last 2 weeks. So there's more prep that has to go on in the back. And we don't always have that made to order eggs in the front. It's upon availability of staff. So we are not gonna be offering made-to-order eggs in the front. You can order them from the back, you know, but when we have this staff, then we'll be doing them out front.
My understanding is that I'm not psychologist, but I noticed last 4 weeks, your server have been compassionate with the residents. Some of them, sometimes the soldier hug them, I kind of feel jealous because they didn't do that to me. For the facility, I noticed that they got the tree behind the Lord building, and they also cut 2 dead trees along the road to goes to the gate. I'm not expert on trees, but I was recommend. My question is, when are you going to replace those trees?
What we do is every year, I put some of the budget aside to maintain some of the older and unsafe trees. Some trees could be healthy, but because the ground might have gotten soft over the winter rains, we remove those trees for safety. We don't necessarily replace tree for tree through our program here.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I got one more statement. I just finished building the rest area up there by the hill. If you walk up the hill, you'll see a big American flag.
Yes.
And under the American flag, there's a big umbrella. And under the umbrella, there are 10 seaters you can enjoy. 4 seaters, you have a rocking bench. I like to think, you know, for July 4th celebration, the Castellonese people put some umbrellas by the event center. I requested him one of the umbrellas and he gave it to me. So that's the umbrella right there right now. So I'd like to thank the Castillo, and also I'd like to thank you for giving me a chance to build a rest area by there. I'd like to recommend for you who are ambulatory, or if you're not, you can request the people mover so you can go up there, stay there for 5-10 minutes, and enjoy the rest area I just built. Thank you.
I'm not sure who to direct this to, but I just wanted to comment on the furniture, the brand new furniture on the 3rd floor head. There's 2 couches, and then on the 4th floor head, there's new chairs there. And I don't want to insult anybody, because I have no idea who picked them out and bought them. But I'm just a little disappointed in that they're so modern looking. They're beautiful, but I just always felt that the Masonic home should carry on the antique furniture look. And the chairs that we had on the 4th floor, I guess they didn't want to spend the money to have them recovered, which is a shame, because they really fit in. And now I don't feel like it's very eclectic for sure.
Okay, I can answer that question. The furniture that you see there, Barb, is what we did. We had lots of furniture that we wanted to replace for this year's budget. Those were the areas, because other residents were telling us that they were torn. And yes, we went and looked at all the stuff that we had that was looking pretty bad. And it's not because of the boilers and certain things that we had to put this furniture. budget for next year, 2025. So because of the event center, right? And we have to move a lot of the furniture out because now it's gonna be the MCYF staff there. We decided, and maybe that should have gone first to the building committee, and I thought it, for some reason, I thought it had, but maybe it didn't. We wanted to just use that furniture for the interim until next year's budget, and if we get the money to continue what we were set up to do. Now, we have to remember that it's more expensive to, and we talked about that in this meeting, I believe. It's more expensive to refurbish thank you, Marty, to refurbish the furniture, the paddings and all that. It's more expensive than getting new ones. Obviously, yes, it's very modern. It won't be there forever. It's just to buy us some time because the couches, the chairs on the 4th floor were already torn, and Julie had sewn them I don't know how many times. I know she's the sewer because they look pretty bad, and we wanted to, you know, we have visitors, we have families that come. We don't want them sitting in a torn couch. The same thing with the couch down in the basement by the accounting office. Those were, we had monies for budget 24 to purchase those things, but because we had other emergencies that we had to deal with, we pushed that over to the next year's budget. So next year, if we get that money, that approval to be able to purchase those furnitures, we will be getting different furniture, but not necessarily antique furniture, something that will go with the decor. I understand this does look a little off because they are very modern, but they're not torn, and at least people can, or dirty, and people can sit and enjoy. And you'll see that we repurposed a lot of furniture where furniture needed to be repurposed, and it's only temporary. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like. Oh, yeah. Clarification on September the 7th. Is that a meet and greet with the police department as in the past? Or is this a residence not invited?
This is a resident not invited. This is a private event for the Union City Police Department. They're using the Sedam patio and auditorium. So it's not a coffee with cops or a meet and greet. It's their private event that they're using our space.
All right, thank you.
But we'll work on getting another meet and greet with the cops.
Hi, I think the question I have is for either Kate or Jeremy. Kate, maybe it's for you since you're the new supervisor. I noticed that the people coming in that have walkers and maybe need the walker, going through the salad bar one time, and unfortunately I was behind her, and if I hadn't have seen, everything was dropped. It was really, she was having a very hard time. And I was just wondering if somebody could watch over people maybe that do take a walker up there and maybe help them, because she's taken things from way back and she drifted all the way across, all over the floor, and it was just really quite a mess. And I was just, if maybe somebody could just kind of check on people that come through with walkers. I could do it okay, but maybe this lady apparently could not. And I just thought it would be better if somebody could help or offer.
Yeah, so again, that's a matter of training for my staff. We're working on that one. Also, yeah, I mean, do you know what day was that? Do you remember when that one happened?
2 days ago.
2 days ago. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to my staff today too about that. So they should be, they should be aware. I mean, the servers should be helping no matter what.
Especially at the silent bar.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, so, yeah, I will remind my staff, to be aware of that one. This is why I want them to, roam around the dining room and ask each and every one of you guys if needs help or if you need ketchup on your fries. And that way you guys don't have to stand up and get that for yourself. Yeah. Yes, sir? Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, I will address this to you first. With this new Walker policy that Chris read, can you help with that in the dining room? When people come in with their walkers, some of us are going in, getting our food and taking our walkers out, parking them over out of the way by the windows. Other people are parking their walker right next to their chair, and it's about 1.5 feet away from either table. It's blocking the aisleway, and we need help with those walkers being moved out of the way so people aren't tripping over them and running into them. Can you
Yes.
help with that?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna be involved with the planning for that. Also, it's not only, it's actually, from my previous facility that I went to, it's always an issue. But, I created a system, which is that I'm gonna be putting it here as well. So, it's a matter of, it's a huge planning actually, which is everyone should be involved. We're gonna create a map and we're gonna put designated areas for everyone to put their walkers, of course, with your permission as well. We cannot be, taking out your walker without anyone's permission. Because I know some of you guys are putting your purse there, something important on your walkers. That's why we want to get your permission first before we take it out from you guys. And we will, we have space in the dining room to put that. And that's one that we need to map out too. Like, what is the designated areas for the dining room to put your walkers and your mobilized chairs. Thank you. So yeah, so those kind of stuff. Yeah, that's one of my goals in in the incoming months. So yes, definitely that's gonna be addressed, and I'm gonna be working on with the whole team as well for that.
And then this is another one about the dining room. Is it possible?
Getting your salad.
Salad bar.
Okay, sir.
All you have to do is make a comment to someone like in the back, and they will come out and clean it up, or you can bend over and pick it up yourself and pass it to them. But I have no problem at all myself in picking things up and getting somebody to come out if something needs to be wiped up. So that's just something that it really is available to anybody.
All right, thank you so much.
Anyway, I would like to know if we could possibly get a clock in the lounge area of the dining room, the No Savoy Savor Lounge, and also a clock on the pole opposite the clock in the dining room we have now. We used to have 2 clocks in there. And so if you're facing one way, you can see the clock, and if your back is, otherwise you can't see the clock.
I remember that, yes, we can do that, Jeannie, and that would be me, that would not be, dietary, but yes,
Well, I thought it was probably
You and Jeremy together.
Yes, sort of, yes. So we will get those clocks going, thank you.
I have a question for Jeremy. Who does the ordering for the dining room? For example, we've been out of butter for 3 days now. We're always out of vanilla ice cream. We're out of 2% milk. Why does that happen? Does the purchasing agent know that we're just about out in 2 or 3 days and reorder, or does he wait until we're out to reorder?
We actually have a chef helping with that right now. He's still trying to get his hands on it. He's been here about a month, and he's working with the staff, because the staff places the orders from the different areas on what they need. So it's a process where he needs to get to know what they need, and they need to be able to express that way, to the different areas. Does that answer the question?
Basically, yes.
Basically?
It's not good, but it's a question.
Well, he's working on it.
I have a question to the respect of all the walkers, wheelchairs and scooters to be on the right side of the aisle.
How could they be out of
You've got to realize you only have one red
big seller?
plug between the rooms. That has 2 receptacles available.
And that's for you.
We have 18 residents on the 5th floor, and if we put everything on the one right side, you wouldn't be able to plug them in. Then you would be causing somebody to work around somebody else's walker. I feel that being all on one side is not going to be feasible.
No. I don't lie.
I'm not saying you lie. Did I call you a liar? You
We'll have to
insinuated
take a
that.
look at that because we can't really have two opposite each other and have enough room in the center of the hallway in case of an emergency. So we'll need to figure out another solution if there are in fact that many chairs up there on that one hallway. So thank you for bringing it to my attention, and we'll take a look at that to make a safe solution.
Question though, the ambulance people with their gurney can go up and back and forth the way it is. If we put it all on one side, again, you're jeopardizing a bigger plan.
There is a minimum clearance that's required for the hallway. And if there are 2 parked on either side, directly across from each other, we won't have that clearance. The hallway is not big enough.
Adams is really wide, so that's what you're talking about. Adams has plenty of room. Don't hold them in Adams is really wide. They can have them on both sides, you don't have to clear it. See, Adams is different than the head building, where it's narrow, the hallways are narrow. The hallways in Adams are really wide, and I think that rule probably doesn't apply there.
We will look into it, but yes, I also respect your comment there as well. Can you imagine running a gurney through it? We're trying to maintain the most safe environment we can. We can take a look at how that is. If it means we have to put them on both sides. If it means we have to put them on both sides, as long as we have the clearance, we may be able to do that, but there's the other issue of if they're not plugged into red plugs, they will not be able to charge if we were to go on generator power. So there are other considerations as well, and the safety committee will have to take a look at how to best work around this into a solution, okay?
I've got 2 questions. One of them's a quick one. You mentioned people being able to go down to Helen's. Has Ashley left? Have we lost our manicures?
Oh, yes.
When did that happen?
Oh, yes.
It's been probably, she did a couple of people, at the end of this week, but she had told us already, and I think I brought it up at one of the meetings. She's left, was doing Acacia Creek and us, so she left, so yes, that's why we're looking for a new manicurist. What was your other?
The other question is that for 2 or 3 times this last week, dining has been late in serving. They've shown up about, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, whatever, after the hour when they were supposed to start serving. And we have this huge group of people waiting in the foyer. And, but there's no chairs to sit on. And so it wasn't designed for us to actually be able to sit and wait. We were supposed to just kind of move right on through. What do we do when we have this kind of situation?
So the lounge, we might be getting a couple more chairs, but we are not gonna put the chairs the way we had them before. The lounge is a place where you just come and sit and wait if, for maybe a friend or wait a little bit. What we were having before, there was a lot of sitting area. People would get there at 10:30. They just wanted to get there at 10:30. Now we have second Adams. You can go and sit there, read a book, and when it's time, but the lateness of starting the service, I will bring that over to Jeremy, why that is happening. But the sitting area, there's, Adams is right down the hall. There's other sitting area in between. So there's areas where you can sit, you don't necessarily have to wait there. The food is not gonna go anywhere, and the open seating is between, 11 and 1, so that's plenty of time. And I know some people have medical appointments and so on and so forth, but I've been to the dining room at 12:30 and there's hardly anyone there. So I know the big rush is right as you get in there, but, if you can't be there at 11:45, maybe you sit and if it's full or what have you, no, they open at 11. So if you're there at 10:45 and they're not open yet, it's another 15 minutes. There's the hallway or the open area by the bridge, the closed bridge, and then you have Adams, and then you have a couple of chairs by the store. So there's plenty.
My concern is when they're late to start, and you've got everybody in their wheelchairs and their power chairs and so forth, supposed to go in there 15 minutes early, and they haven't even opened on time, and then are even later. That's when there's this big influx of people waiting. It's not as though we're just, what you're talking about makes sense if you're just going, and you want to schmooze or whatever it is. I'm talking about when they're late in dining.
Well, I can only explain why we've been late lately. Like I mentioned earlier, we're down 2 cooks. I keep having to find myself in the kitchen cooking as well, just so we can get, caught up with things. So we have a new executive chef, executive sous chef, not executive chef, starting next week or the week after. He's going through the onboarding process right now. So that will help when he comes in, and then we have 2 cook positions open as well to help get that sped up. So hopefully that'll be corrected soon.
So since this is what I've learned today, since Soledad mentioned that it's open dining, so that's something I want to change. If it's open dining, then that means you guys can go inside the dining room and you don't have to wait for us to open. Give me some time for that. We will announce it, okay? We're gonna have to talk with that, but since open dining is open dining, you guys can come in 15 minutes before, 20 minutes before. You guys can go to the dining room and sit down. I don't see any reason why you have to wait on that lobby. Okay. But we'll definitely, have a meeting about that first. And then, I will let everyone know.
This brings up the other situation, which seems to be endemic with Morrison, and this is the turnover. There seems to be a constant turnover, and we're hiring people, and they won't be in until such and such. And we've been impacted this just multiple times. This is not unusual. Why is there this huge turnover at Morrison?
Barb, I'm gonna answer that, you're right, there is a huge turnover in Morrison, but it's not the only place. We have a huge turnover in nursing staff in Lorber. We have a huge turnover. It's kind of died down a little bit in assisted living. You see a lot of nurses, because you guys are in the south, and you don't see much, but we have a lot of new nurses in assisted living. Right now, if you go to many restaurants, we have turnover at Acacia Creek. Jack and I were just talking today because they are losing their executive chef. And so, he even offered me the position in a jokingly way, because obviously he knows I don't know how to cook. He says, hey, are you available? And I said, just, give me an apron and let's see what we can do. So there is a turnover in dining services, not just in Morrison, in dining service as a whole. I don't know if people just find different positions. I know in assisted living we had that quite a bit. It slowed down a little bit, but it seems that dietary is one of those things that, and we're used to, right? Before we're used to not having, but remember all that, we had so much tenure before in dietary, whether it's in-house or out-house. It's the trend that is happening. Outhouse. Well, you know what I mean, not the outhouse, but in-house or outhouse or outsourced. Let's see, in-house or outsourced. There you go. That's what the trends are showing. So I'm glad I gave you a little bit of laughter at the end of your day.
While we're talking about installing these clocks and all, could we please try and fix the clock in the ice cream parlor? It's been set at 12 o'clock now for almost 2 years.
So again, don't wait until town hall. Let us know if it doesn't.
We have.
Who?
Well, I wasn't the one, but.
Okay,
People have been talking
so
we've
if, do a work request, go see me, go see Marisol, go see, Jesse in social services. Luz is right next to, so find a staff member that will take care of it.
Because I know my roommate Alexa doesn't always pay attention to my work orders.
Well, there you go. Okay, Jesse.
Work orders in.
See, work orders in. She already put it in. So all you have to do, Jesse is out back there. Thank you. All right. It looks like we're done with the questions. Thank you so much. I know you have to go to dinner. Appreciate your time. Have a nice evening.
29 people working the road.
I wanted to make sure you guys volunteer.